ER, I remember it because it became a bone of contention for us in NBC, where they eventually, because ER was like the highest testing pilot I have ever seen in my life. It was a grand slam home run. NBC disputed some of our results initially in that. So testing, once again, testing's important today. It's especially important if it's very high or it's very low. Because it's very funny, and a lot of people criticize, most pilots are in the middle, where it doesn't matter that much. In other words, if you fix certain elements, you could fix it. But David Poltrak, who heads research for us, for CBS, when during scheduling, and everybody groans because David often kills shows that you love or pushes shows that you don't. So he made a statement once, and it was a numerical thing, and he said, I've been at CBS 20 years, and no pilot that's scored under this number has ever lasted more than a season. And he showed me all the ones that have been on and on and on. It was true. So, by the way, there have been a couple of pilots that we've liked that have not gone on the air because of that. Most of the time I use research, and I believe in it, for something that's a grand slam home run, like CSI. We thought it was good. We didn't know how good until we saw research. It was huge. Research was huge on that. And it was huge with women, which was a surprise. That women really got into it, which was when we realized with CSI, it wasn't really a detective show, it was a puzzle. So we use research, and with ER, the funny story is, so we saw the pilot, and I loved it. I love the script, I love the pilot. That doesn't always happen, The pilot was spectacular. And I think I had one note, which John Wells didn't listen to, it was about the location of the doctor's apartment. And I said, it looks like he lives in a lower class neighborhood in Chicago, because they had the L in the background. He said, you don't know Chicago very well. There are very nice apartments that are right under the L. I said, all right. So anyway, he left it the way it was, and that literally was the only note. Our test results were huge, right off the bat. NBC, the executives, didn't love it as much as we did. They didn't love the pilot as much as we did. They weren't against it. They claimed our research was out of whack. So they did a test on their own, and their research didn't match up with ours. So we said, all right, I'll tell you what. You come over to where we test it. You bring your executives. We'll retest it. We're that sure of how good it was. And they did that. The result was exactly the same as our first test, which was huge. So we retested, we did that. Now, the next dispute with NBC was what night were they going to put ER on? Initially, their thought was to put move homicide from Friday to Thursday, which we were vehemently opposed to. Because Friday night at 10 o'clock is not the best place to be. You want to be on Thursday night, especially with that powerhouse NBC lineup during that time. So we took the two shows and we did more research on them and said, Homicide has much more male appeal, and ER has a huge amount of female appeal, and frankly, the four comedies that lead up to it are, sitcoms are generally 60% female. So that was a battle, and I finally got Thursday at 10. So I won my two battles with NBC for Friends and ER, and they're very happy I did.